For me, it says it all right here. Remember when Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, said the following? "It doesn't matter that Hunter Biden is a private citizen. The American people deserve to know. Congress needs to investigate to the fullest extent possible." And the "it" there was what? Consensual sex with sex workers while Hunter was a drug addict, so that MAGA Republicans could show nudes of Hunter Biden? On the other hand, this is what Mike Johnson's been saying over the past few weeks as it relates to Matt Gaetz and, frankly, other picks by Donald Trump for his cabinet. Matt Gaetz is a private citizen. Congress should not investigate a private citizen. That's what MAGA Mike Johnson said. And over the weekend, now that Matt Gaetz has withdrew his name from Donald Trump's cabinet as the top law enforcement officer, our attention and the attention of the nation and world turns to other cabinet picks by Donald Trump who have been involved in sex assault allegations, whether it's RFK Jr. or Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense. And now, after all the MAGA Republicans lined up to support the "it" being child sex trafficking allegations as it relates to Matt Gaetz. By the way, Matt Gaetz posting right now, essentially indicating he will be running for governor of Florida. Good luck in Florida with that, and Trump will probably endorse him. Now all the MAGA senators, they're lining up to fight for Pete Hegseth and attack the victim of Hegseth. So let me show you this clip so you see what I'm talking about. So over the weekend, you had Mark Wayne Mullen, MAGA Republican senator from Oklahoma. Here, he attacks the victim of Pete Hegseth, and Mark Wayne Mullen calls it flirting. He says the police report indicates that the allegations were rape of unconscious woman. By the way, you know where the event took place? It was at a Republican women's conference, and the women in question and the women who Hegseth was around were at the Republican Women's Conference. So let me show you what Mark Wayne Mullen, Republican senator, says, then let's talk about it.
And you argued that a police report that came out this week showed there were just two people flirting with each other. But I want to just make sure our viewers know what that report said, that the woman said that when she tried to leave Hegseth's hotel room, he blocked the door, ended up on top of her and performed a sexual act. She also said that she, quote, remembered saying no to a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
Dana, if we're going to get into that, let's talk about the whole police report. Now, I know you read it, and I have definitely read it. First of all, the police report, if you look at it, it's very clear that what Pete was saying, was his attorney was saying, was accurate. There was no case here. He was falsely accused. If you go back and you read the report, there was 2 eyewitnesses said that she was being the aggressor. Pete wasn't even flirting with her. He was flirting with a different girl, and the other girl was trying to flirt with Pete, the Jane Doe here that is unmentioned.
I mean, how despicable can you get? Okay, so why doesn't Hegseth, who made hush money payments to this woman, release her from the non-disclosure agreement, as Catherine Rampel says? Why doesn't he release her from the NDA? And if it was just flirting, why would he make hush money payments to the victim who made the allegations? There's more, by the way, from this interview. Here, Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma says that he supports Hegseth's version of the story over hers. Here, play this clip.
From your perspective, you believe his part of the story and not hers?
I absolutely do. He wasn't charged. He wasn't even kind of charged in this. There was no crime committed. The police dropped everything. It's what's unfortunate in today's world. You can be accused of anything, and then especially if it's something like this, you're automatically assumed to be guilty. If you read the police report from cover to cover, which I have, and I know every reporter has too, it is clear there was nothing there. there was clear that there was no crime committed. And so that doesn't prevent Pete from moving forward in this. The American people gave President Trump a mandate because they want to change the way government has been working. Government has been working for a party, not for the people. And President Trump is putting people there that's going to make changes. And unfortunately, the establishment is trying to hold that back and trying to find every little piece of detail they can to say that this person is disqualified.
Okay, well, I don't, number one. But number two, even if you accepted Hegseth's version of events, this is the morality police in the Republican Party. So Hegseth is married at the time. Was it to wife number 2 or 3? Hegseth cheated on wife 1 with wife 2, cheated on wife 2 with wife 3, who worked at Fox, who Hegseth had a child with while he was married to wife number 2. But Hegseth's version of events is disgusting. Hegseth says, oh, I was flirting with him while he was married, brought her up to the room, and then performed various sex acts, as he describes it, in very kind of lurid and graphic details that you would not want your Secretary of Defense doing these things. You can go and read the police report. But by the way, let me be very clear. I believe the victim. I believe that he should be asked about this at the hearing. And also, he's never held a leadership position before in the military. He was in the National Guard. He never commanded even a company in the military. Now we're talking about Secretary of Defense, but it wasn't just Mark Wayne Mullen. And I'm not going to show you dozens of clips. I just want to show you a sample. Here is Bill Hagerty, another MAGA Republican senator. And here he says, all these allegations are just surfacing now. This is amazing. Play this clip.
But he's faced these allegations of sexual assault dating back to 2017. My understanding is Donald Trump didn't even know about those allegations until after he named him. Is that your understanding?
John, all these are, as you said, are allegations. It's amazing how this comes out. Pete is a very talented individual. I talked with him earlier this week. He told me, John, about how many people had written to him and said, look, I was thinking about getting out. You know, we have a huge recruitment problem, a huge retention problem in the military. I was thinking about getting out, but now that you've come to lead us, Pete, I'm going to stay in. That's the type of inspirational leader we need to see. Don't let these allegations distract us. What we need is real significant change. The Pentagon has been more focused on pronouns than they have lethality the past 4 years. We need to get back to business, and I think Pete is just the person to do it.
Well, Senator Hagerty, perhaps they're surfacing now, maybe because they always existed, but now that Hegseth is given the nuclear codes, maybe we the people would like answers to a person who will command our nuclear arsenal, who is also unqualified, who has serious allegations of sex assault against him, and whose entire life, from wife 1, wife 2, wife 3, and having babies out of wedlock and all of these different things, when he preaches to be the morality police and you all pretend to be the family values party, just maybe there should be questions about these things. I'll show you another senator, and then I'm not going to show you that many more because I think you get it. I can show you most Republican senators now who reflect this view. Here's Senator Eric Schmidt right here. And here's what he says about Hegseth. He goes, look, if Trump says Hegseth is good, I'm good with it. Play this clip.
Ultimately, this is a decision that President Trump made to bring in another disruptor. And I think if you look at this election, it was disruptor versus establishment. He ran on this. And there needs to be reform in the Pentagon, whether it's procurement, whether it's getting rid of divisive DEI that's dividing our military by race. There's no place in our military. I think he's talked about eliminating that. And then also making sure our focus is on our chief adversary, China.
Let me ask you, I guess, big picture, Senator. You're on the Armed Services Committee, and there's a known sexual assault problem in the military. Do you believe that Pete Hegseth is the right person to lead the military, given all of that, at this very moment?
Well, he's not been charged with anything, Kirsten. I think that's important. And so you read from a police report. I've not seen the police report, but again, I'd like to. There's probably more documentation around this that would be interesting to see.
So I hear you saying you have questions.
Well, of course I'm going to have questions, but that.
And then Senator Eric Schmidt is asked what he would do for these appointees or these nominees of Donald Trump. And he says that he will confirm them no matter what. Confirm them no matter what? I mean, you are a senator. You have a constitutional duty, advice, and consent to hold a hearing and ask these people. You could indicate that you are inclined to support them, but you want to have a hearing, which I would say that's ridiculous. Why would you be inclined to have these people who are not qualified? But no, you go, look, if your dear leader Donald Trump says jump, you jump. Here's Senator Schmidt right here. Here, play this clip.
Now, President Trump listened to the American people when they screamed about these issues. They want to be heard. They feel like Washington's broken, and I think bringing somebody in like Tulsi Gabbard is a welcome news.
So you're a yes on Tulsi Gabbard, Senator, just to be clear?
I'm a yes on Pam Bondi. I'm a yes on Pete Hegseth. I'm a yes on Tulsi Gabbard. Absolutely.
Okay, well, there you have it. Let me zoom out a little bit. The Trump transition team has so far bypassed traditional background checks for his cabinet picks. Are you confident that all of Mr. Trump's picks will be fully and properly vetted before this confirmation process?
I am, and I think that's an important role of the United States Senate, right? It's a uniquely American institution for a bunch of reasons. We have the role of advice and consent, and as we go through, whether it's armed services or judiciary, any of the committees that are going to be vetting these candidates for these positions, absolutely, it's going to be thorough. It should be. We should ask.
All right, now let me show you Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, who actually did command a company in the military. She is someone who has serious military experience. And by the way, one of Hegseth's views is that women should not have any combat roles in the military, despite anyone who has a leadership role in the military would tell you that women have been instrumental in combat roles in helping our great nation. But here's what Senator Tammy Duckworth has to say about Hegseth. Let's play it.
To the offense code as, quote, rape victim unconscious of the nature of the act. It details both the accusers and Hegseth's version of events. Here's what Senator Mark Wayne Mullins said it shows. Two people flirting with each other. Is the committee going to speak with the victim to ask if this was a misunderstanding?
Well, that will be the decision of the Republican chairman of the committee next year. I hope that we will, but I suspect that they, again, will roll over for Mr. Trump. Frankly, I will raise those questions. Remember that we've just fought over a decade of fights and overhauled the military and its treatment of military sexual trauma. It's frankly an insult and really troubling that Mr. Trump would nominate someone who has admitted that he's paid off a victim who has claimed rape allegations against him. This is not the kind of person you want to lead the Department of Defense.
And here's what Senator Duckworth has to say about Tulsi Gabbard. Let's play it.
She's a critic of U.S. intelligence operations. She has promoted Russian propaganda. Your fellow Democrat, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, called her, quote, likely a Russian asset. Now, you and Tulsi Gabbard are both veterans. You served with her in the House. What do you think of her?
Well, I think she's compromised. I think by going to Syria and basically backing a brutal dictator there, Russian-controlled media called her a Russian asset. So I do think that we have a real deep concern whether or not she's a compromised person, and frankly, the U.S. intelligence committee, the U.S. intelligence community has identified her as having troubling relationships with America's foes, and so my worry is that she couldn't pass a background check.
I think very powerful words right there, but you see the difference between the MAGA Republican men who are senators saying those things. Look, as a girl dad, to see that, or just a human being, setting aside girl dad, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. But then seeing a competent senator and Senator Duckworth, Democrat, saying that, speaking common sense, I don't view that as like, oh, that's such a political thing that she said. We're talking about giving this guy the nuclear codes. I mean, that's the thing. And she was great in that interview, but Democrats need to go on the offense with messaging. I can use this platform to the best of my ability, but we have millions of subscribers here, but I'm doing my part. Okay. I wish I could do more, but this is what I can do. But Democrats need to go on the offense and message this clearly. Republicans have supported child sex trafficking allegations. Republicans are covering this up. Call them out loudly, proudly. It's the right thing to do. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thank you so much for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.